Morning, everybody. On the way to interview pro surfer Evan Geiselman from New Smyrna Beach here in Florida. 28 years old, been a professional surfer for over 10 years. Turned pro, I think, when he was about 17. Had a pretty damn good amateur career, 12 East Coast titles. Won the North American Pro Junior in California, and has competed worldwide in surfing as a professional. So it should be an interesting interview. Thanks for tuning in. See you soon. Welcome to Prime Movers Podcast, everybody. I have a very special guest today with me, friend and local pro surfer, Evan Geiselman.
Yes, Mr.
How are you, brother?
Great to see you, brother. Happy to be on.
I'm stoked to have you on. Looking forward to talking to you, and thanks for giving us some time in your day.
No worries.
Funny story before I get going, everybody. Some of you might know surfing, some might not that are tuning in. I met Evan. I've known his family for years, since I was probably 13 or 14 when I met his father, Greg Geiselman, his mother, Gina Geiselman. And he was about 5 when I met him, and his older brother's a pro surfer, also Eric. And we went down to the local inlet here to surf one day, me and Eric. We were walking back from the inlet, and Evan was getting taught how to surf by his mom, getting pushed into waves in New Smyrna. And he's just psyching out like just a young grom. We call it grommet here in surfing when it's a young person that's learning to surf. And he's just young grom since he's about 5 years old, and now he's an internationally known, recognizable name in surfing. Been pro for about, 10 years?
Yeah, 10, 11 years. Yeah, been a good little journey so far.
So you would have started surfing around that time, I imagine, 4 or 5?
No, you nailed it. Yeah, I probably was riding. I really got into surfing when I was like 6. Like where I knew, like I was coherent and knew what was going on. Like, I like surfing, Other than that, I was getting pushed in with my mom and my dad, and I didn't know what was going on at that point. But yeah, 6, really picked it up and really just wanted to follow in my brother's footsteps, really. Having an older brother was very beneficial. Just to, you always want to be like your brother or be better at what your brother's doing. So
younger brother coming up.
Yeah, exactly. So my brother and I are 5.5 years apart. So it's kind of the perfect little age gap to really, he paved the way for me. Yeah. So and then the rest is really history, and now we're here. So
you competed in obviously in amateur ranks for years. You won 12 East Coast titles.
Yeah.
And in the amateur ranks, which is an amazing feat in itself. And then from there, you went into the pro junior competitions.
Yeah, so started out just doing the NSSAs and ESAs and all that.
Let me go back. So the NSS was the NSSA 12 titles.
Yeah, NSSA. I think it's 15.
15. Hey, I got to check back up.
I could actually be wrong. Regional title. Yeah, I think it was 15, and that was cool. Had a very, very awesome amateur career. And then I get everything. If I could go back and actually, if there's ever a mistake, I kind of rushed it a little bit.
Yeah.
Probably should have done, I just rushed out of the junior. So I went from the amateurs to the junior pros, and then I rushed into like the QS a little quick for if I looked at everything, full circle, but you never do that. But started doing the junior pros, had a lot of success there. Won the North American title. Yeah, and then, did the Worlds, and I think I got 9th, tied for 9th. But did that for a couple years, then I was kind of like, my peer group, I was traveling with Chloe and Dino a lot, and we were just like, we were 17, 18, like why not give the QS
You were in the elite ranks of this, and obviously in the States of surfers coming up in the age group.
Yeah,
top of the ladder.
Yeah, it was everyone was pushing to start doing the QS, and then I feel like that was a mistake. Should have just kind of let my surfing.
Who was your sparring partner mainly in that time?
Chloe. So I moved out to California when I was 16, and me and my brother, we had a spot in San Clemente, so. And part of the reason for doing that is because I was surfing with Chloe so much, and it was him and I, and we were really good friends, still one of my really good friends to this day. Yeah. But it was just, whenever you're trying to be great or good or however you want to, whatever your goals are, you need to be around really good competition. And that was, that was my sparring partner, and that was someone that I was head to head with for a very long time. And then, he made the big show. I never made the big show, but still really good friends.
The World
Tour. He made the World Tour, and
Well, hey, you've had some amazing wins though on the qualifying series. Yeah. Japan.
Yeah, that was
a
QS 6000.
6000.
Yeah,
that's up there. Yeah.
That was.
So it goes 1, 3, 6, and 10. And the 10's like your US Open.
Yeah, 10s are the
prime.
Yeah, 10s are just right under CT.
Yeah.
So.
And you're surfing against.
Yeah, you're surfing
all the top guys.
Yeah, you're surfing against the CT. Most of the CT guys still do it, and then you got the QS guys, and it's the top 100 in the world, and it's it's fun. It's challenging. It's competitive surfing is interesting.
How is it a grind? I mean, I could imagine like
it's like anything. It's like
heats
when the dice are hot, you keep rolling, right?
Yeah.
It's the same when you're competing. When you're making heats, you feel like you can't be beat, and you're like, another event can't get here quick enough.
Right.
So when you are struggling to make heats, it's a dark place for sure. I've been on both sides of it. So
and you got to take into consideration you're not at home here in New Smyrna.
Yeah.
You're over somewhere else in the world.
You're overseas. You got 25 minutes.
Random place. 25 minutes. You fly around the world for a 25-minute heat is what they do the competitions in a heat.
Yep.
With
three other guys, four guys in a heat, and
best two waves.
It's best two waves, and you can go over there and be humbled very quickly. Everything can be right. Your board's can be great. You're feeling great. The ocean can ice you out, and you just went over there and wasted a lot of money. A lot of time, and you lose first heat, and you're just with your tail between your legs going home, and it's a pretty cutthroat, brutal sport, but
it's harsh.
We love it, and really the competitiveness, like I'm just a competitive person, but that's not why I surf. The beauty of surfing is going and getting barreled with your friends or getting waves of your life. Those reactions, had some sessions. I've had some moments that I've had wins and moments with my friends, or getting barreled, or just the stoke that you like.
What's your best top moment in your competitive, your pro surfing career that you had your best moment, your win, or what stands out the most?
I'll give you two. So in my amateur junior career, when I won the U.S. Open, that was one of the most surreal moments, just because that crowd and that atmosphere and being picked up the beat. I mean, it was crazy. It was like a stadium. It was
Huntington Beach, right?
Huntington Beach. There was
California.
Yeah, probably 20,000 people on the beach, maybe like so many people.
Hell of an audience.
And that was special. And I was 16, so I mean.
Did that pretty much turn? Did you decide that was like the start of your pro career?
Yeah, pretty much after that, I was like, okay, it's time to
16, really?
Yeah, 16. I was like, okay, we just want.
And you're 28 now.
I'm 28 now.
Yeah. So.
And I won some.
That's young.
Yeah, it was really young.
Super
Won
young.
Some juniors leading up to that, and I was like, okay, it's time to kind of go after the big show and see what we can do. And then I would say Japan. Japan was a special win because that was the year I almost drowned the year before. So that year coming into it, in Hawaii, that year coming I didn't know if I was ever going to compete again. I didn't know if I liked it. I had a very, very different perspective on life.
It's very, very, very wild tale. We'll touch on.
Yeah. We can. And I went to Japan kind of not having. Did a few events leading up to Japan, and I didn't have the best results. And I still, you love it. You want to go back to normal, but definitely the different perspective on life was, nothing. A loss didn't mean the end of the world like it used to, if that makes sense. And I went to Japan pretty clear-headed. Went with Noah Schweitzer and his family.
It's local.
It was incredible.
Just good dude.
Yep.
That was a classic.
Really incredible, just fun trip, and we were just having a really good time. And I ended up winning the event, biggest win of my life. And I love Japan. I've been back 5-6 times since, and I just have very good friends and families over there that I'm close to. So I would say that's probably the most monumental, close-hearted win for sure.
Yeah. Who was in the final? You versus?
So I beat Leo Fioravanti in the final.
He's Italian.
Yeah, Italian. He's on tour.
Yeah, that's a massive win. Well done.
It was awesome. It was cool.
Now back to what you were just speaking about, a life-changing moment, would you say? Obviously, it's a silly question to even ask that, but life-changing moment where you had that wipeout at Pipeline in Hawaii, North Shore of Oahu in Hawaii.
Yep.
And from what I saw, you can tell it better, but took off on a beautiful wave, second reef set, was it? That feathered through, came in. It was incredible. I actually just watched it this morning to get back and just watch it over again. It was an incredible wave, and you set yourself up perfectly. Wave closed out, took you to the bottom, you hit your head on the reef. Knocked out unconscious?
Yep, knocked out unconscious. So for me, it's a funny one because half of it I wouldn't even know unless I watched the tape back.
Yeah.
So that morning though, it's literally my last day in Hawaii. I was coming home the next day.
Yeah.
And Pipe's one of the hardest waves, one of the best waves in the world, but one of the hardest waves to get, a good wave.
100%.
So it was the same day.
So crowded.
It was the same day the big wave tour ran Jaws. So so the swell had a little north in it, and north at Pipeline isn't ideal. That's why those closeouts happen. You really want it west.
Yeah.
But I saw ironic tale about this is I saw Andre get such a sick wave. I'm like, I'm going out. There's no saw him get blown out of a beautiful pipe wave.
Andre Botha.
He's
a bodyboarder.
He's a bodyboarder, professional bodyboarder. He ended up saving my life, as you'll hear shortly. But
blessing, yeah.
So I paddled out with Griffin Colapinto, and there was probably like a 5 to 8 pack of surfers out at this point.
What would you call that day, size-wise?
I mean, it was second reef, so I mean, it was 20 foot for sure. You know, I mean, Hawaiian, it was 10 foot.
Massive.
Yeah, 10 to 12 foot.
And they're judging by the back of the wave.
Yeah,
like,
so
like
it was big.
10-foot wave, there's double than.
Yeah, it was very legit. So I paddle out with Griffin Colapinto and get in and probably out 10 minutes, and this beautiful like you said, second reef one's coming. You kind of always look for those corners, especially when you're rolling, like taking off in the whitewash. You're kind of looking. I kind of looked at. I remember I looked at. Julian Wilson was paddling for the same wave, but we kind of locked eyes, and I was in position, and I'm like, I'm going, and that was literally the last thing I remember. I remember locking eyes with Jules, paddling, standing up, and then the rest is history. And then I watched the video clip back, and it looks like, I kind of rode high, and I got bucked off of this foam ball going into the closeout, and I must have just went
head over.
Yeah, I must have just went
inside in the barrel
because that wave was a little wider off the pipe bar. So I'm just thinking, I mean, there must have been a random rock or because it's almost towards the gum section, and it was like where I fell, and yeah, I must have just hit my head very quickly and was out. And the next thing I remember was waking up in the hospital with my fiance by my side and holding her hand.
Yeah. So, hey, congratulations! You just got engaged.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. Very happy. Very happy.
Married man soon. Well done. Congratulations.
Can't wait. Can't wait. It's gonna be a great life.
So, how long were you in the hospital for?
I was in the hospital.
'Cause you got revived on the beach. Was that right?
Yeah. So, I remember. Yeah, I came back to the beach because that's actually other than the hospital.
You came to on the beach?
I came to on the beach. I remember I was.
And your brother Eric was there, right?
Eric was there with his girlfriend at the time, and Maddie, and then everyone was there. It was like right before the Pipe Masters.
Where were you staying over there with it?
I was staying right off the wall. So
off the wall.
I was right there watching.
That's it. Next, well, it's on the other side of the back door.
Yep. So
right at Pipeline.
You could see everything.
Yeah.
But I did come to on the beach for a second, but I was re-drowning because I had a bunch of water in my lungs. And I remember I was like this, and then someone said put him on the side, and then I went back out again. So that was the other little moment that I had.
So then you woke up in the hospital.
Then I woke up in the hospital with a breathing tube, and that was the most surreal one because I didn't know how I got there. And I luckily my girlfriend was holding my fiance was holding my hand, and I was like, and she's like, it's okay, just like breathe, and I just breathed, and I was there for all that day, spent the night, and then I think I was out the next day. So
crazy,
probably 2 days. I was in there for 2 days.
Crazy story.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're here talking today.
Same.
Yeah.
Beyond grateful to be here
100%.
and for every opportunity that is thrown our way.
I mean, I've known that to be probably the most dangerous wave in the world. One of.
I mean, it's taken the most lives.
Yeah.
So it's the most dangerous wave. It might not. I mean, I think there's gnarlier waves, but there's something about how that wave hits that reef that it takes a lot of people out.
Jeez,
so
yeah, that's crazy. So you just did a comp over in California.
Yeah. So
and you made the quarters.
Yeah, got fifth.
You lost by 0.09.
It was a rough one. It's a rough one.
How do you take it? It's just got to be like.
It's competitive surfing. I've had plenty of them, so I mean, I take it with a smile and move on. But
keep going.
Yeah, I felt good. It was cool because this is another weird these COVID times is another one you don't know how you're going to really react to this new life that's happening.
Speaking of that, about all the travel and everything, it's so restricted.
I've only been international once since all this happened, and done maybe two comps, like three comps max. Yeah. So that's a very big lifestyle change for me from doing 12 to 14 events a year and traveling for 8 months out of the year to maybe doing 3
remember
now.
Manly?
I remember that's what
I saw you there because I was over there. And
that always starts my year. Manly and Newcastle.
Was that one of the last times you were overseas? Far away from home.
Yeah, when COVID happened, I was in Australia.
That was right as that happened.
Literally, was about to go to New Zealand and came right home, and that was the whole world shut down. So, but it felt good. It felt good to compete. It felt good to just get the competitive juices going. Yeah. It felt good to feel a sting, to fire you up. I'm going in about
fire in the belly going.
Yeah, I'm going in a week and a half to Dominican Republic to do an event. So, It's just I think everyone's adjusting to this new deal that's going on, but it's
a different world at the at the moment, and hopefully it settles. And but it is a big adjustment, I imagine. Huh?
Yeah, but it was definitely nice to get going
for sure.
Surf some heats, that's for sure.
What's your plan? Do you want to continue down the road of qualifying for the World Tour? Are you on that trip? Are you?
My head, because
of COVID, it's probably knocked things around, obviously, for everybody.
I'm very competitive, and I do feel like I would love to give my shot just for myself because I've been doing it and grinding for so long to give myself a shot and try to make that. I've done a couple CTs, and I truly believe that if I got on there, I would love to. I feel like I could do well. So it's like. It's in that I'm 28 now, and it's in that one. Do I want to go this route or that route? It's really up to me. I have unbelievable support from my sponsors to
good.
Kind of. They're not expecting me to really chase it. I don't have to.
Yeah.
So I'm in this crossover because I love so many things. I love fishing. I love playing golf. I love surfing. I love meeting people and making these connections and telling the story about it. Like, so there's a bunch of avenues. I really want to compete right now. My goal this year is I just want to compete in the events that I want to be in. And if that leads to me having a good run and then I end up doing more and I qualify, awesome. But I wouldn't say my sole outlook for this year or goal is to qualify, because I look where, it's weird, I look at the CT and it's a bunch of the peers that I'm at, and I'm like, it's so sad to me not seeing like the Julians, the Mick, the guys that I idolize, and then I'm watching who's making eats and I'm just like, man, it's not really, and I'm not taking anything away from anybody when I'm saying this, but I'm like, God, this doesn't have the same feel, the same impact. Like,
as a fan myself, growing up watching it and surfing, it's you know, you got Kelly just won pipe at 50 years old.
It's incredible.
It's an amazing feat.
Unbelievable.
That was amazing to watch. In firing amazing waves.
As good as it gets.
But like, I know what you mean. It's kind of.
Yeah, I mean, it's just those
rawness and everything of it.
It's not there. Yeah. It's not. And the new dudes, I'm not taking anything. I don't think this. It's crazy, and it's weird to even say this, but I feel like the surfing was better 10 years ago than it is now. It's really strange when I'm watching those guys surf compared to what I'm seeing now. It's like,
what do you think about, because you do some crazy psycho airs and stuff, but like, what do you think about it going that direction of all the airs? And like, I grew up, I'm 39 years old, you're 28, so I got a bit of years. But when I was growing up, the rail surfing and everything you do on the face of the wave, not in the air, was so, your fundamentals were there. And it seems like a lot of the things nowadays, like the kids coming up too, they see these airs and they're not learning how to turn and properly ride a wave. You know?
It's the full package. You just have to. That's where getting molded young. And like I said, when me jumping to the QS, I won a lot of events because airs were just starting to happen. I was really good at airs when I was young, and I could air people to death. Really, I won a lot of events doing that. But then when you get to those big shows or certain conditions, you can't do airs a lot of times. So it's like, that's out, just throw that bag of tricks out the window. So you need to have a good foundation of the proper fundamentals.
Surfing on the face itself and your airs.
If I ever have a boy or a girl and they want to pursue surfing, that will be something that you got to go do trips to work on fundamentals, because a lot of heats and stuff, it's very basic surfing that makes heats. It's very basic. Catch the best wave and surf it at 75% of your potential, you're going to make a lot of heats.
You got that right, yeah.
So, so back to just 10 years ago, that's, airs were like, there was X factor in airs. Now you see airs, you're like, it better be one of the best airs ever to even like get your attention.
Remember the air reverse come in, and I was like, when I was younger, I'm like, wow, doing air reverse, it's amazing. That's done on like people blindfolded down here at their inlet surfing,
So I just think, I think, how the equipment is, because the equipment's changed and went shorter, fatter. That's taken away from that rail surfing, and just what people are watching now. They're watching airs, so they want to go do airs. And back in the day, you wanted to go do big hacks, do cut back. You wanted it was just different. So
nice to see.
But there's still like Griffin Colapinto is my favorite surfer right now.
Amazing.
His
style's incredible too.
He checks all the boxes for me, and he keeps it.
Man.
I'm pretty good friends with him, and he just studies. He goes and watches 3 Degrees, all the old school boys, and just he's like, okay, I got it.
Morrison, Fanning, and Parko, and 3 Degrees.
So it's just, there's definitely some guys that are keeping it to the full package. I'm not taking it away, but there's definitely a lot of guys who just
if you're gonna win a world title, you got to have the full.
You got to
package,
have it all,
right?
for sure.
Definitely, Now, moving on, it's about airs. So, Perfect Swell Technology, which is American Wave Machines. What's your role there? I know that you go around where they're developing a new man-made wave pool, and you're the front man of trying the pool.
So I was
some stuff
I was fortunate enough last year to go and commission the Japan pool. And the story kind of behind that was they wanted to have that pool ready in case the Olympics, Japan could easily be dead flat. So they wanted to have a spot, that pool was coming, they wanted to have a spot to say, hey, if you guys need to move this Olympics here, it's ready to roll. So I went over there for 3 weeks and I tested out 40 something waves, just to like give the okay.
Wow.
And it went from that to now we have a pool coming here. We have the owners are unbelievable people. They're really cool. A very close family friend works for the company now, and he has given me these opportunities, and really it's one of those who type of deals, because I've gotten a very fortunate opportunity through him. And I think it sounded like we're going to go commission a pool in Brazil that's going to be twice as long as that Japan pool.
That'd be amazing.
And then hopefully by a year and a half we have a pool here that's ready to rock, and we're all surfing and having fun. But that's the future, and that's what
What do you think about Middle America world champ coming from there with wave pools? It could happen. Possibly.
It could happen. I think it will
think?
happen. I think we're going to see a very interesting divide of the World Tour, and then there's going to be a wave pool tour, and there's going to be a wave pool world champ. There's going to be a dude like Rick Kane that is going to be so good in those wave pools.
Shore, the movie,
he's going to get to that ocean
classic.
and be like he can't even move. Like like I said earlier, half the battle is going out there and reading the ocean and figuring out how to catch those waves.
Where to sit, where to be, when you're line up. Like
when you're in a pool, I love it because it goes to like a skate or a snowboard run. That wave's fucking perfect. It's up to you to like deliver, and there's no excuse. It's like it's right there. There's your run. It's like, you know, that's where surfing's unique because you don't get the same opportunity twice. This is really cool that it's giving the same opportunity.
You get in the canvases, doesn't change.
Dude, yeah.
Really, like
those stab highs and these events. It's just gonna be very action packed. You're getting a wave every 40 seconds. It's just gonna be more appealing to the viewer than someone catching 2 waves in a 30-minute heat.
Yeah.
And you lose interest. You know.
Yeah.
It's going to be a little, you got to do both, but it's going to be a little avenue, a little split that's going to be very interesting. There'll be a full wave pool tour guaranteed in 5 years.
That'd be classic to watch.
Yeah.
The difference with the waves, how many waves do you try out? 20, did you say?
Dude, I think we made it close to,
so what, you
over
just go,
25.
this one's great,
40.
but you can put a section here, they have the ability
So I mean, so the wave that like kind of was our really big breaking ground wave.
Yeah.
It's called the highball, which a highball is in Japan. They have these like these little soda machines, but they're liquor machines, and it's a whiskey, like a whiskey ginger ale, pretty much. They call it highball. Yeah. So we ended up calling it highball, and it just, that one in my mind just progressed wave pools. Like it's because I've been to Waco. This is new technology. Yeah, I've been to Waco in Texas, and this technology is.
What is it? Is it air?
Yeah, so it's air pressures, but it's like anything. It's like when your computer needs an update, right? Yeah. So the software gets better. They have new software, and it made a different wave that Waco can't.
That's insane.
Like they can't make unless they update their software. So when he ran it,
unreal.
I just got a bowl, and I was like, oh my god. I'm like, can we make something where the airs are great and anything, but we got to have the full package. You got to be able to hammer it. You got to be able to do a carve. You got to like to surf.
Yeah.
Can't just pump down the line and try and air.
Yeah.
Everyone can do that.
Yeah,
so there has to be a little bit of variety. So that was the idea of it, and it's a 2-turn or a big blowtail hack or a carve, whatever you want. Go over this little hump, 1, 2. What? Best air section you can ever do in your life. It's the ultimate. The ultimate.
And that's the same. So you get that wave, and you got every time you're trying. So you don't land it the first time. That wave's coming back. You're gonna get another chance.
It made me a better. It made me a better surfer.
Cool. Yeah.
I was there for so doing that pool for almost 3 weeks. It was probably surf time like 12 days. And it 100% made me a better surfer. It was incredible.
Wow.
So it's gonna be
Brazil
scary.
next?
Brazil's the next one opening, and it's gonna be the future of surfing is gonna be scary. It's gonna be. You see these 12-year-olds doing backflips. It's unheard of.
Yeah.
You know, so
it's nuts.
Yeah, pretty incredible, and I'm excited that I'm still in this, midway, 28. So I'm still kind of middle of my career, but gonna get into my 30s and like be able to watch this new progression and kind of be a part of it will be really fun. Really fun.
You got years left in the tank for sure, buddy. What about injuries? Because I know I had an ankle injury. You were talking me through your mental boundaries of where you get after you. One interesting thing you said to me surfing a few weeks ago down here at the inlet where we grew up surfing was that once a surgeon gives you, because you had a blowout of your ankle, you got a plate and screws.
Yep, I
got a plate and 8 screws.
Yeah, so we pretty much had the same
folded in half, man. Looking back at me, the heel, I was like, oh my God, what happened on a 1-foot wave? But anyway, you probably did yours on an air.
I did mine on an air on like a 2-foot wave, so don't feel bad. Like literally, like
small waves.
And it was like an air. You're like, what? You got hurt on that? It was like it blew my mind.
I was the same, freak accident. You don't expect anything like that, but one thing interesting you said to me was like once a surgeon gave you the okay, you went and stomped on it. You're stomping airs because you're still pursuing qualifying. The U.S. Open was coming up when you did the injury.
Yep.
But that's the one thing I'm trying to get past is okay, it's okay. Like just know it's okay. I surfed last night and I'm like the pressure and different angles of it. You just feel like shit, is this thing gonna snap again? But it was interesting your mindset on it. It's a mental state.
My whole mindset on injuries. If you get the okay from the doctor, that means in my mind, I'm not even going to try unless I'm 100% in. Like, it's going to feel uncomfortable, but that's part of the deal because if you're babying it, you might as well not surf anyway because you're going to surf shitty. And it's just it's easier said than done because mental. Like I feel like I struggle with backside airs because I've broke my ankle and I've injured my knees on backside. Like most of my injuries have came from backside air. And so I still have a little scar tissue there mentally. Ooh. But you have to, right when I hurt my MCL about 3 months ago now, 4 months ago.
Right.
And it was on a backside air, but I was just getting over it. I was like, I was trying to stomp, and I was like, ironically, Griffin was in town, I was surfing with him, and he was ripping. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna push it a little bit, and I just, tried to tried to stomp a big air, and it
comes with
the territory. It comes with the territory. But
bust it up.
My biggest thing for injuries, I would just say, I mean, you got to be 100% locked in when you're back in the water. If you got the okay, you know you're not going to re-injure it more. So you got to go
hard as you can.
It's again easier said than done.
I know. And you just came off the knee, right?
Yeah.
Back in the water, 100% now.
100% now. Been about a month since I've been back in the water. So it's felt really good.
Feels strong.
Yeah,
again?
It feels good.
Good. Yeah. Moving on now. We've talked a lot about surfing, but you're passionate in other areas like golf and fishing are two other areas that you spend a lot of time doing. Each of those. You're going actually today to a tournament.
Yeah. So.
Is that right?
Yep. Yeah. So for my big golf nerd, I didn't know what golf was until I was about 18 years old. Never heard of it in my life. And I was actually, that's when I broke my ankle. Yeah, 17, 18 was when I broke.
That long ago?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was more recent.
It's been. Well, I broke my ankle when I was 18. Yeah, so that's
in Costa Rica.
In Costa Rica. So I'm booted up, like can't really walk. And Pat O'Connell and the guys from Hurley, they were doing a scramble out in California, and I was like, I'll come ride around. I don't know what golf is, but I'll come, have a beer, cruise, just chill. Like, and I'm watching these guys, and I could walk at this point, and I tried to make a swing, and I missed the ball. I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah.
How am I missing something that's just sitting right? Like, that doesn't make sense to me. Literally, so golf just took over a big part of my life, and I've been hooked. And today we are playing an event. Our local club is our local Muni here, and we're playing against the Sugar Mill Club. So it's called the Muni Mill Masters, and it's 12 on 12 Ryder Cup style. And
sweet.
Yeah, it's made a lot of very impactful relationships for me. And I think you're spending 4 hours, you're not getting around it with someone that either is new or your friends, so you're bonding that whole time.
People there that you get along with.
I just think it's really incredible. You get to know a lot about someone, and you're constantly engaged with someone for 4 hours, which doesn't happen that much this day and age.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
It took I love it. It's
is that
really
today fun. And tomorrow tournament?
Yeah, it'll be a 2-day event.
Nice.
So it'll be really fun. And then the fishing aspect, I'm riding for a company called Anetic, and
Anetic Performance.
Yeah, Anetic Performance, and their whole thing is their gear is catered to a active lifestyle that is their stuff you want to wear when it's very hot out. It's the best sun protection.
Perfect for summer in Florida.
Yeah, it's perfect for what we do. And
True.
When that gig came to me, their stuff, I mean, I could say how good it is, but it's one of those things until you try it, you'll get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And their passion is doing
just outdoor gear for hot weather.
Yep, hot weather. It's pretty much where we call their gear tools. It's a necessity. When you take it, you'll be like, okay, I'm not wearing anything else in hot, like staying out of the sun, staying cool. So what their goals are is the same thing that I do: surf, golf, fish,
in line with everything you do.
So it's just been a really cool opportunity. It was during the pandemic where that opportunity came to me, and it's been a really good relationship with them.
Nice.
So far. So
who's so who are your sponsors currently? Obviously Reef.
Yeah. So Reef has been. I was head to toe with Reef, and then they stopped making clothes, and that was about
strictly
6 years.
shoes and sandals, flip flops.
Yeah.
With Reef
so now that went. They've obviously it's been now probably a decade almost with them, and it's now shoes.
That's a long relationship. That's great.
Yeah, one of my best friends, Shay Perkins, he's one of my best friends, and he works it, but it's just been awesome. Those guys are so easy to work with, and so sweet. Reef's been around for
originally from Brazil, right?
Yeah, originally from Brazil. The owners, people who started it from Argentina. So
cool.
I don't know how much of their involvement is with the company anymore, but that's just been an incredible relationship. And then Anetic has been 2 years now. Dragon sunglasses.
Dragon, nice.
And
make great sunglasses.
Costa Tequila. Okay. And then my dad's one of my biggest supporters. Greg Geiselman.
They got a lineage of surfing than your family. So I imagine when you have kids, it'll probably follow suit.
Yeah, it's wild. I'm 28. My dad's a great shaper. I've never shaped a board in my life, so I actually need to get on that.
Hey, my senior project, I shaped a board with your dad.
That's awesome.
When I graduated here, but it was I won't say I won't go into it. Stays off the record, but we had a good time. Your dad's a legend, man. I've always it's been great to have you and your family as good close friends. And he was getting boards, when I was younger. I was getting boards off him my whole life, really. Been getting boards from your dad since I was like 14. So
he's OG.
Great dude.
OG. But, he loves his work too. He's a craftsman. I've never seen he works his ass off.
Oh, he's always down. He's always at the factory.
Every single board he's passionate about. That's what I admire that a lot about him.
Definitely, man. He's got so much knowledge in surfboard. You ask him a question, boom, answer.
Yeah.
And he's got it from the start, before all the, won't say into anybody's craft, but with a planer, knocking it out by hand.
Yeah.
Everything's gone to like machines now.
You can do it all. You can do it all.
He knows it from the start to finish, back to front. So, but man, I think we covered a lot, and I'm stoked to talk to you, man. It was a great conversation.
I appreciate you having me on.
I've been happy to be home and getting out in the water with you and seeing you ripping down there.
Dude,
it's hard to watch them out there next to that, but it's great to watch.
Well, it's been incredible having you back, because obviously you were living in Australia, and I would bump into you during those those maybe couple weeks that I was there.
And I remember the one, funny you brought it up, was Narrabeen with Pro Junior. You surfed a few times.
Yeah, that was the World Juniors.
Years ago, man. That was like 2012.
Yeah, it was a long time. Yeah, 2012, 2013.
10 years ago.
Yeah, 10 years ago. It was a long time ago.
But you've been going to Australia for years, every year, huh? It's a big leg there.
Every year, yeah. It's pretty crazy because, leading up to the COVID thing, obviously COVID put the wrench, but my schedule was the same pretty much every year. It'd be Hawaii end of the year. It'd be starting out my year in Hawaii again, and then going Australia. Then, you bounce to South Africa, U.S. Open, Europe leg. Like, it was always pretty laid out for me every year. But it's
now you're. Well, I mean, look, you got a full schedule: golf, fishing, surfing, women's waves down there.
Yeah, exactly. So it's we're still busy, we're still enjoying life, and we're new new ventures.
That's excellent, man. Congratulations.
I appreciate it. Yeah, now I got my fiance, and that's going to be an unbelievable chapter that I'm super excited to start.
Epic.
So
that's great news, man. Congratulations.
I appreciate it.
Hey, where do people that aren't really familiar with surfing, where they go to follow you? Instagram?
Yeah, so
check you out.
Instagram's where that's where I'm really active. Everything else, all the other social media, I don't really follow up with, Twitter and Facebook. But just at Evan Geiselman, and that's on my Instagram, and that's kind of what I post pretty routinely and keep everyone up to date with what's going on.
So you're most active in Instagram.
Yeah,
if you want to check you out.
Cool, 100%.
Cool. Well, hey, man, I was stoked to have you on, buddy.
Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in to Prime Movers, guys.
Yes.
Click subscribe. We'll see you again soon. Thanks, Evan.
No worries. Thank you.
Got here, I have all your boards, dude. You got a rack of one of everything, it looks like.
Yeah, I'll tell you, we're ready for any condition. There's some oldies, but I mean, I got a twin fin there. I got my standard shorty. This is my everyday board from my pops.
Greg Geiselman, your dad.
Yep, Orion surfboard.
Legend.
Yep, pops. And then we got my chicks board. We got a little step up. Pretty much before the COVID and the pandemic, I just wanted to make sure I had, you kind of have to have a board for every condition.
What's your normal shortboard, high performance shortboard right here?
So
what do you ride?
So right there, that's 5'10", 18.65, a little over 2 1/4, probably just over 26 liters. And that's like my everyday if it's under head high. That's what I'm riding. If you see me surf, 90% of the time it's on that board, like a board like that. So.
Yep.
And then if usually like my normal shortboard's 5'11", so if the waves are head high or like or I need a little more rail or something, like we go 5'11". So.
You got and then stepping up into bigger boards, like you go up into your step up boards in like 6.
Yeah, I mean like
6'4".
a normal little step up. I usually just go by like obviously inches. I use 6'0" a normal, just
6'0".
If it's a little overhead and I gotta. Right, it's all about
6'0" mayhem right here.
Yeah, it's all about rail line in the water. So it just depends on what water or what type of waves. Obviously, if it's a little slopier, I'll use a little longer board just to draw bigger lines. So kind of.
You had a twin fin. I seen you at the inlet down here in Smyrna. And your dad actually has it in his factory. I saw it fix that tail, but
really fun. Sick. So fun, such a fun board. I had a twin fun.
It's a mayhem, right?
Yeah, that one was the RNF round nose, the copy of the RNF. So that was fun. And then that album 6.0 album that my fiance rides that now, but it's incredible. She stole it from me, but she flies and you go really fast, but you can draw big lines on that. And then. Yeah, my dad has a little board called a Black Cloud too. That's like a 5'7" little modified twin also. That's like a high performance twin that I ride a lot. Definitely during the summer.
Your dad, Greg Geiselman, he's shaping it with the Fire Ant, and then there's a Black Ant.
Yeah, so
those two models based off
those
of your
those are off me. The Black Ant is my performance 5'10" like that. We're modifying it a little bit because it had a little bit. I mean, it worked, but it had a little bit too much rocker. So we're just working on a little bit, making it a little less rocker, a little easier to grovel, and then the Fire Ant's just my normal shorty, 5'11", has some rocker.
That's your normal.
Kind of covers everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sick. So you got quite a few in here, buddy.
Hey, we have enough.
Up to the brim.
We definitely have enough. Yeah. Definitely. It's.
They got. One's never enough, and
it's a blessing having a pops that will bust you out boards, and then obviously some other shapers from around the world are mixed into the quiver as well. So
I've been stoked to get boards from since I was little.
Dude, he's one of the best.
Years he's been doing it.
Yeah, it's very. Even when I get a board from someone else, you can kind of look at it and throw his little twist on it. It's, it makes
old school
it makes it
planer, by hand.
It makes it a lot easier to be Like these new boards, especially like I've worked with my dad now the last 2 years, like strictly him. I haven't rode many other people's boards, and
just strictly Orion.
Strictly Orions, and we've got everything pretty tight. Every board comes out almost the same. It's pretty sweet.
That's epic.
Right now, yeah. So
because it's very hard, the subtle differences you'll feel in your caliber of surfing, you're going to feel a subtle difference. That, you know, if you're surfing a heat, you want to be on point.
100%. You just don't want to think about your equipment.
No.
If you're thinking about your equipment,
work, hands down.
It's already going to be too much work. It's already too much work to go. Like you just want your mental everything right when you're competing for sure. So.
Definitely, something like that you can lose a heat and trying to qualify for the tour.
Yeah,
go on a trip around the world. You don't want to be faulting your equipment. So.
Yeah, I've definitely had trips where my equipment felt shaky, and I was just like, when I'm thinking, like, it just sucks. The confidence, it's with everything, and especially in like sports or anything. You want to be confident doing what you do. So, yeah, is what the equipment should be the last thing on your mind.
Yeah, definitely. So, well, sick to see all your boards, man. I'm stoked to. Thanks for having us in here to check your garage boards out.
Excited to chat with y'all.
Definitely, man. We'll go get a coffee.
Yeah.
And sit down for a chat.
Love it.